Welcome to the 2022 Wheelchair Comparison, brought to you by the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation and Gold Pictures.
We're going to show the features of each chair individually and then compare them all in the final episode. So stay tuned.
My name is B. Alinker, and I'm the founder and inventor of this thing. It's a yellow three-wheeled walking bike with an overarching frame seating assembly on top, two big wheels in the front, one wheel in the back. And I talk about it as a vehicle for change because it is not designed for a body with a problem, like many medical devices are, but I designed it for how we want to feel and how we want to live, for the user experience.
It's interesting. I'm excited to try because since I can walk, it might be a device that can help me walk distance without getting tired and sitting down.
Well, on our team, we have Sergio, and Sergio broke his back 3-4 years ago now. And he's got more than a foot long of stainless steel in his back, and the medical system had completely written him off, like, you will never walk again. Sergio came to NeuroFit 360, which is a rehab center that has a sports approach. And they understand that if you activate the brain, if you feed the brain messages, then your brain is starting to make contact again with your legs. With the Alinker, that literally activates your brain because you sit with your sit bones on the seat, pelvis tilted back a bit as you walk. Whether you can move your legs or not, somebody can move the legs for you, or on a treadmill, you can move the legs. The fact is, you need to feed your brain information and complete the feedback loop between the brain and your legs. And then you can rebuild a lot of the mobility. And he has about 40% of his walking back. He can pull himself up from a wheelchair, stand up, and stand independently. That's only after 3 years. The difference between being hung in a harness where you walk on a treadmill is that you're completely confined. You've got no freedom whatsoever. You're strapped into a thing that's probably uncomfortable in your crotch and everything. And what it doesn't do is it doesn't exert pressure in your sit bones. And we've noticed how the exertion of pressure on your sit bones in the core of your body activates the brain as long as the legs move. Even you can't move them yourself, but as long as the legs move, the brain gets information like, oh, something's happening down there. I know what that is. I want to connect with that. I want to try and make a link because that's how the brain works.
This is a good core workout too, because as I'm going like this and I'm bringing my feet back forward, I got to use those lower core muscles, you know.
The strongest example that I have is a guy here in GF Strong in Vancouver Rehabilitation Center. Not complete, so recoverable over time. Recoverable as in partial recoverable is what they said. And he wanted to try the Alinker. So I arrive, and this is just to illustrate how the medical mindset works. And the physiotherapist is there, and she said, oh, this will never work for him. And I was like, excuse me, who are you? Because he wants to try. You're not deciding for him whether he can try or not. You better grab his ass and get him on the Alinker. So I said to George, like, do you want to? He said, yeah, feel free to grab my ass. Don't feel it anyway. So we put the Alinker in front of his wheelchair, grabbed his ass, and lifted him on the Alinker, and lifted his arms on the Alinker, strapped it with Velcro because he had so little control. And the physiotherapist was just rolling her eyes. And I was like, don't judge. Like, just, he wants to try. Why not? So he's on that thing, starts pushing himself very slowly backwards. And she's looking at him and she's like, huh, that's more movement than in the last 6 weeks. They were waiting to start rehabilitation until he had some movement back. How backward is that? That it totally flabbergasted me. That was years ago. So that was right in the beginning of when I started with the Alinker. He did that for a while. I said, George, just continue on. Just go backwards on the Alinker. Just push yourself. And he was having fun because he was moving more than in the last 6 weeks. And he felt great because he was on eye level, whatever. So he did that. And then after a while, I said to him, like, do you mind if I grab your ass again and push you forward? And then grab your knee, your jeans, and pull your leg forward once that's back. And I said to the PT, do the same on the other side. So force his legs to move. Within half an hour, he was self-propelling himself forward in the gym on his own steam. And I saw in that moment somewhere where we were pulling his legs and just dragging his legs to forward so he can push back a little bit. It was like a light bulb went off in his head. It's like, oh, his brain was like, oh, I know this. I'm engaged again. Yes, tell me. I've been waiting for this moment. It was really stark. Within half an hour, he was self-propelling himself in the gym. Not by any means 5K an hour, obviously, but waiting for rehabilitation until you start moving. Like, what? If you go to alinker.com, ALINKER.com, it will direct you to the website. The Alinker is not covered by Medicare because it's not a medical device. Medicare works such that if you apply for a device, they do a whole assessment with you. And then based on the assessment, they determine what you get. And then the mobility aid that you get needs to come from a certified supplier. We're not a certified supplier. And if we were selling through a certified supplier, we're selling now for $25.70 US. If we were to sell this through certified suppliers, it would go up to $6,000-7,000 probably. And that doesn't go to the people that need them. So I refuse to work with that system. And we rather make the Alinker available in different ways by 0% rent to own, so people can spread out the payments over a year. And the crowdfunding campaigns are built in such a way that people don't have to deal with the money, because when you're on disability, you can't deal with money. So the moment the campaign is completed, we'll ship the Alinker. You don't deal with the money. And we hire Alinker users to help you build the campaigns, ex-campaigners who know what the process is. So they can help you do that. And that makes it a very successful platform.
The Wheelchair Comparison Web Series, brought to you by the Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation and Gold Pictures.